Hello and welcome to the Wewealth Women podcast. I am your host, Athena Gardner, the founder and CEO of Wewealth Women. If you're new, Wewealth Women is a women's wealth learning community where we help women create the lives they want to live, create wealth, and own their own wealth narrative. We do that by providing resources, support. We have our own app, we have a podcast, we have our own women's wealth learning community. You'll also be taught lessons in wealth, business, and money by experts like myself. I'm a CPA, and other guests as well. So if you're interested in ever joining us, we would love to welcome you. Feel free to follow us on all social platforms and download our app. Now, today's episode is inspired. If you listen to last week's episode, I talked about this Charles Bukowski quote: find what you love and let it kill you. This episode is also inspired by another Charles Bukowski quote, and I might as well do a Bukowski series at this point. But another quote from him that I admire so much is, if you're going to try, go all the way. If you're going to try, go all the way. And such a powerful quote, such a powerful quote. But this stood out to me because on my wealth journey, I have had issues with committing, right? And I've had started several businesses, some failed, some were successful. And in the ones that failed, even I realized that it wasn't so much the business itself. It was a lot, it was other things. One, I didn't know what I didn't know, which is often the biggest challenge in entrepreneurship, especially if you don't come from a family or a background that was heavy into that. You're kind of out here on your own trying to piece it together, figure it out on yourself. And that's why investing in training, investing in a coach, or investing in a community can be invaluable because it helps for you to close that gap, and it helps position you for greatness, for it to actually be successful. But I realized when I invested in coaching, so everyone should have a coach. If you have a mentor that doesn't invest in self-improvement, doesn't have a coach, doesn't have that, question that, because your mentor should also be self-improving. But that's another day. But what I realized is that I was a person, except for a few things, right? And most people who meet me in real life, or people who know me like my friends, would be, what, you're so accomplished. You've done all these things. You're like, in a small percentage, you're above average, this, that, and the third. Yes. But when I don't like to compare myself down or compare myself to other people, right? I like to compare myself against what I would like to be. That's my barometer. And I invested in coaching, and she was able to identify to me that I had a hard time committing to things or seeing things through as soon as they got difficult, if they got too difficult, or if they got too uncomfortable. And a lot of that came from a fear of failure, or a perfectionist, or a fear of not being great. Because I still am a recovering perfectionist. But in the journey of entrepreneurship, in the journey of running business, in the journey of creating wealth, you kind of have to be committed to the process and let the process refine you, and embrace failure as learning lessons. Like, oh, I failed, or I didn't do this today. All right, keep pushing. And that was very hard for me to do, but I'm glad I invested in a coach to highlight that to me. So when I saw this quote, if you're going to go all the way. If you're going to try, go all the way. It reminded me of the mindset I used to have. And it was that lukewarm, oh, I'm just going to give this a try. Oh, I'm just going to give an effort and see what it does. If it doesn't respond well, if it doesn't do what I needed to do, then it's fine because it's almost like you're setting yourself up for failure. But what it really is you trying to manage your feelings, your fear of failure, your how you might feel if it's not working out. But because you don't have the mindset like, oh, I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna go all the way with this. I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna put my best foot forward. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm gonna drain the battery. I'm gonna unload the clip. We're just gonna 10 toes down, go all the way, see it through. Because I didn't have that mindset with certain things that I was trying to do, it ended up not being successful. So when I listen to that quote or repeat that quote, if you're going to try, go all the way, it reminds me of this is what I need to do or the attitude or the mindset I need to have with the things that I'm doing. Now, it doesn't just apply to wealth, money, and business. It applies to everything in your life because you are everywhere you go, there you are. Like anything you do, yourself shows up in that. So I would do these are examples of things like I used to do. I used to sign up for like diet programs, training programs, weight loss programs, and I'll commit to about like 1, 2 months and go right back to what I was doing before, even though it was working. But I would just get tired of it, or I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to run anymore. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I'll just go right back and undo all the work that I did, all the effort that I made. And I have looked at that pattern in other areas of my life. There are past businesses where I was like, oh, I'm just tired of this. I don't want to do it anymore. It's too much work. Throw away a whole business that was actually making money too. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And now sitting here, even thinking about that business, I was like, I wonder what it would have been if I just continued. And I think that's what happens when you don't go all the way is you have a lot of what ifs or regrets or wonderings. Now, I don't regret not going all the way with that business, but I do have some what ifs. And my challenge to you, to whomever is listening, is that as you are planning your life, as you are planning, especially since this is a podcast about your wealth strategies in the context of your life, any improvement or growth you are trying to see it to the end. Go all the way, really put your best foot forward. Because I think a lot of the reason why we don't is of the fear of the unknown, the fear that it won't go all the way, the fear that we won't be successful. And it's a lot of fear that holds back our greatest, what could be our greatest accomplishments. Now, for example, I'll put another example out there, this podcast. I have or had a lot of fear around speaking publicly, a lot of and these were unfounded. They weren't unfounded. I had a lot of fears around not necessarily expressing my ideas, but how I communicate them, if my communication skills were good enough. And I used to get a lot of compliments from my friends, from strangers. "I like your voice. Oh, you have a great voice. Oh, you communicate very well. Oh, you're very articulate." I used to get that all the time, and it never fully sinked in, and one day I questioned, why do I have these hangups around how I talk or my speech or things of that nature? And what I realized was that that was rooted a lot in childhood. That was rooted a lot in being told to be quiet as a child. That was rooted a lot in being told, um, just getting different messages that my opinions and my voice didn't matter. And it was very confusing too because it was like, okay, everywhere else outside of this environment, I'm being praised for this. So, to fast forward, because this is not a therapy session, unconsciously, I'd withheld my voice, or I've had certain thoughts and thinking around my voice, my mindset, um, my communication skills that I was like, "Oh, maybe nobody would listen to it. Maybe it won't matter." But here we are today, big step in podcasting, several platforms, okay? We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube. People actually listening to my voice, taking direction from me, impacting people. So that is to say, take the fear of the unknown, really, really challenge why you're fearful of certain things, because certain fears will really impact and take away from your gifts and what you're meant to do and the value you need to put out in the world. I remember someone was saying we're in business like a session. And this person was saying, "Well, I can't start that type of business. Like everyone does that." And I told this person, I said, "When you walk down the bread aisle and you see 50 type brands of bread, or you walk down the cookie aisle and you see 50 types of cookies, or you walk down the juice aisle and you see 50 types of juice. Those companies never said, 'I can't start this. There's so many people already doing that.'" Our mindset is what holds us back. And wealth and business especially is a mental game, it's a mindset game. Well, I thought, especially in my first attempts at business, because I've been at this for a while. I thought I just had to have the resources. I thought I just had to have the skill. I thought if I had the processes in place that things would be great. And that was not the case. And what I realized, especially at this point in time, is that I had thoughts, behaviors, actions that weren't conducive to success, that was not conducive to wealth creation, that was not conducive to the abundance that I, for one, and every woman deserves. So when I look at that and I look at the past, I realize that I didn't have the mindset for wealth and success. But I didn't know it at the time. You know how I had to find out? I had to invest money, time, energy, get a phenomenal mentor. And what she did was show me all of my blind spots and showed how I was literally my mindset was not where it needed to be to support the vision that I had for my life. And those experiences, honestly, it really helped me. It helped me to grow, and it helped me to even start this women's wealth learning community. And I invite you guys to join us and to sign up because you don't know what you don't know. A lot of us are not experiencing the wealth that we deserve because we have a mindset that repels it. We either don't think we're worthy of it, we think that it's going to be too hard, we think that it's going to be too overwhelming, and we don't even start. We cancel ourselves out and do not give ourselves a chance. We don't try. We don't even try. We don't even try. Not even don't let's not even mention go all the way. We don't even try. We don't even try to advance because of how we're thinking. So, when it comes to and I strongly believe every woman deserves to be wealthy, we need to get out of our own way. We are so passionate about beauty and looking good for people who you can't even call upon when you need your bills paid, when you need to pay your children's tuition, when you need to cut the check to go on the retreat to restore yourself, when you need to cut the check so you can get the health procedure, when you need to cut the check so you can see the concert you want to go to or the trip that you want to have or the furniture or the home that you aspire to live in. All of these things come from having wealth that you strongly deserve, but we don't even try to even get ourselves together with that because we are fearful and we tell ourselves we need a man, we need somebody else. I don't make enough, I don't do this. Fine. There will always be obstacles in anything. Problems are always going to be there, but so are solutions. And okay, you don't make enough. What are we going to do so you make enough? Okay, you think it's too overwhelming. What are we going to do to make it not so overwhelming? What we need is a mental shift, and that's why I love this quote so much. If you're going to try, go all the way. Get to the point of trying and then go all the way. We need to try because I'm tired of going to grocery stores and having women ask me money for milk. I'm tired of having these sidebar conversations at conferences and wherever else, and women express to me their shame around having poor proper money management. I'm tired of seeing women feel guilty for spending money because these are things that indicate to me that we're not we don't have our mindset wrapped around creating wealth. And I think that once we do that, your life expands so much. I have a bunch of wealthy friends, but I have friends who I'm not gonna name drop, but to see how they move in life because of the amount of wealth they have, they literally can wake up and like, oh, I'm gonna buy a house today. Oh, I don't have to work a day in my life ever again. That is a level That is a level that we need to operate on, ladies. It's that level. And if you want a community to support you, to help you get on that level, please consider joining us at join.wewealthwomen.com. In closing, though, no, we got a little intense. Bukowski, great poet. If you're going to try, go all the way. 2024, you want to put your best foot forward. It is a crazy year. It's an election year for us for the US. It's Olympic year. Who all kind of shenanigans coming left and right around what what's going on. You don't want to be someone living in regret because you didn't try hard enough. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't go all the way. You didn't see what could happen because you let the fear of the unknown and just fear in general make you not even try. You took yourself out the game. So ladies, if you're going to try, go all the way. So that's it for this episode. Feel free to join us. Follow us on social media at We Wealth Women. Be sure to look out for us. We do a lot of workshops. We have a lot going on. We also have our own app. So if you want to access a wealth of resources and tools today, you need to download this on the App Store or Google Play Store, the We Wealth Women app. So the app is called We Wealth Women, or you can go to www.wewealthwoman.com/app, and it will take you directly to the links to download it. In there, you have a resource library, you have our quiz, we have in chat messaging support groups, goal trackers to keep you on track to the bag. 'Cause I know some of you guys need help staying focused. Some of you guys need help being focused on creating the wealth that you deserve. So, thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. And remember, if you're going to try, go all the way.